Hello everybody, it's Theresa here. Today I'm going to be making a lavender soap. I'm going to tackle purples again. The last time I used purple, I ended up with a gray blobby mess. But you cannot learn unless you try. So I have mixed some colors together. And I'm going to try again. I'm just using lavender essential oil that as my fragrance. So in here I have my castor oil, my coconut oil, my cocoa butter, my olive oil, my shea butter, and for the first time I'm using lard. Lard is a very popular ingredient for soap. I'm not really sure whether or not I'm going to enjoy using it. I really don't like using animal byproducts in soaps since there are other alternatives, but everyone says that it is great. So, and people seem to be as against using palm oil as they are using lard. So it's kind of like the trying to find the lesser of two evils. I'm going to give this a try. If I don't like it or if I feel uncomfortable, then I'll ditch this recipe. Or maybe I'll give it to you all because one of you might like it. I'm going to add in my additives. And in this jar is actually my castor oil is in here. My aloe is in here. My vitamin E, my sodium lactate, and my kaolin clay. They're all in that little container. I use about 3.5% castor oil for my 2-pound batch, which works out to roughly about 1 ounce. I see some clumps going on in here, and I don't really know what that is. It's not, I haven't added my lye, so it's definitely not that. So, against my better judgment, I usually don't like to stick blend before I add my lye, but I'm going to try to break up those clumps just a little bit. It introduces way too much air, so I'm just going to ditch that plan. I just spilled a few drops of my oil over here, and before things start to get slippery, I'm going to do it. I've also invested in some vinyl gloves. I don't really want to use these type of gloves, but my other gloves fall off a lot, and the bigger dishwashing gloves are too big on my fingers. My fingers aren't long enough, so I end up like pawing at the soap. Seems to be more of a hazard than anything. Okay, in goes my lye water. This is aloe juice, not lye water. It also contains salt, sea salt, and powdered sugar. The salt is for hardness. The sugar is for bubbles. I'm just spraying down my container with a little bit of vinegar. Some people say that vinegar helps neutralize lye. Some people say it doesn't. You could be the judge of that. I do it, but because it was suggested to me. But feel free not to do it if you don't like it. Going to try to reach emulsification here. So my husband, I need to get one of those large fluorescent lights to hang overhead. That looks emulsified, so I'm going to add in my fragrance, which is not actually a fragrance. It is lavender essential oil. Okay, I'm pretty sure this has reached emulsification. I'm happy with it, and it's still not at a heavy trace. So, which is good for what I want to do, because I'm going to attempt something that I fear is going to be a little complicated for me, but I'm going to attempt it anyway. Alright, so I'm going to sit down so I can see a little better. I tend to like to lean into things. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this off. I'm going to give this away, and I'm going to split it off. Okay, so I'm at 42 ounces. So it's roughly 21 ounces. That's what I'm looking for. I'm actually going to stop before I get to 21 ounces. I'm going to aim for about 18, because I want more white than anything. So, alright. Now, I'm going to plop that out of the way. I'm going to start doing my colors. I've got two different colors of purple here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep them even. One of the purples actually looks a little more close to rose color, but I'll take it. Actually looks like I'm going to end up about a cup of each, so that's not too bad. Gotta get all of the colorant out of this bow, and I know I'm probably blocking your view, and I'm sorry about that. Let's see if I can spin it around the other way. Gotta get everything out of the bow, because I'm going to do an in the pot swirl in this bow, and I would like it to be as little as possible and little as interference as possible. Alright, so we have that. I'm going to give this a little wiggle. And that is going to be a rose color instead of a purple color, which is better than gray, but not what I was actually hoping for. So, oh my, purple just does not like me. Now this looks like it's going to be a purple, but it is not. That is a gray. That is definitely a gray color. So, I'm not going to do what I did last time, which was add in other colors, because last time I added in some other pigments and it didn't work out. But I do have some liquid colorant here, so I'm gonna try a little bit of this liquid colorant. I did do quite a deep water discount, so adding a little bit of water is not going to hurt it. This is at least a brownish rose color. And this is like a wine color. Maybe it'll morph. Doubtful. Very, very doubtful. So I'm going to get my titanium dioxide in here. Alright. I just wanted to move that, not move it along, but I just wanted to give that a little assistance in mixing together. I see a speck and I imagine that it's either from the shea butter or from the other colorants. So I'm going to wipe that off of my spatula. Alright. So, alright. Now we have our white color, which is actually a cream color, but I'm fine with that. And then I'm going to bring our, well, I was actually going to just do a base of light purple, but that's not going to work out. So I'm going to take some of this white, maybe a little more. I'm going to do an in the pot swirl. There's a couple bubbles in there I'm trying to get out, so. Alright, so I'm going to do an in the pot swirl. With my reddish, brownish, pinkish, purplish colors. And I'm going to save some for the top. This wine color turned out really pretty, but it is definitely not the color I wanted. But in soap, you don't always get what you want. So, we make do. They actually look quite the same here in the pot. But in their individual pots, one is a much deeper color. I'm going to save that for the top. I'm going to grab my other spatula over here, wipe it off, just to make sure it's nice and clean. And I'm going to insert and pull out. Because when I'm pouring, this is going to get really mixed up. So I don't want to mix it too much into the pot. Alright, here's where it's going to get interesting. If the color mix-up wasn't enough, I'm going to attempt to do a tiger swirl with these colors I have here. With the in the pot swirl, which was supposed to be purples, well, a purple and a white, turned out to be other colors, and white and white. So here we go. end seems to be getting fuller than the other, so I'm going to turn it. Alright, I don't know how long before this video, my video cuts off at 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and beat it to the punch. I'm going to pause briefly, and I'll be back before I have touched anything. Okay, be right back. So, I didn't even move anything. It was literally a second, but I did not want you to miss anything. Not that you would, but I did not want to risk it. So now I'm going to scrape out these other little pots here. Actually, I'm going to do this one first, back here. I'm going to scrape out the pots and kind of layer it on top. I'm trying to debate on how I want to do this. Well, we'll see. I'm not sure how I want to do the top. I had an initial idea, but now I'm rethinking myself. So, let's just see. Whoops. It's okay if it's not perfectly straight across, but I like it to be somewhat organized, so I'm going to spin it here. As you can see, this color is not purple at all. It's nowhere near purple. It's more brown. But sometimes your soap, you know, soap can be beautiful no matter how it turns out. It just may not be what you had hoped for. And in this case, that is exactly what's happening to me. I think this soap will be pretty, but it's not going to be exactly what I had hoped it would be. I'm pretty excited. I did a soap for the Soaping 101 Soaper's Bow, and you can see it on my YouTube channel. It's titled Shades of Raiders. It's a black, white, and gray soap. It's very well received by the other soapers. And not to say that the other soapers aren't important, but more importantly, my mother-in-law absolutely adored it. And she's very, I would call her stylish. And she's very set in her designs. And she mentioned after seeing it, she said, you know, I would like to have a soap that looks like this, you know, or not necessarily looks like that, but she said she would like to have a soap that was red and white and maybe some black done for her bathroom. And immediately I was like overjoyed. I want to do a soap for her. I don't know what kind of swirl I want to do though. Maybe I'll just Do I want to leave it like that? Or do I want to I think I'll leave it like that. I think I'll leave it just like that. It looks very pretty. So, okay, so now I have some lavender petals, but they're fresh lavender, but because this didn't turn out quite purple, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to reserve them for something else. And I'm going to top this with some glitter. Because it didn't look quite purple. So, well, it isn't purple. So, I don't think that the pretty purple lavender buds will work on this, and I will be making another lavender soap at some point once I figure out a purple that works. And I'm gonna call that done. So once again, I have another soap that didn't quite turn out up to snuff, but this is my lavender essential oil soap. It's done with in the pot swirl and as a tiger stripe, and we will see how well that turns out tomorrow. I've looked and I didn't see anyone exactly doing what I did, so and it might not be even tiger striped. I don't know, but I've not seen anyone doing exactly what I did, so hopefully it comes out nice. So until next time, happy soaping. Bye bye.